Hello everyone and welcome back to this Udemy course on Focchi facades. In this video we're going to be amending my facades and configuring them on this side of the building. This is the front side of the building, of course. In our last video you'll remember that we configured my photovoltaic panels on the east side, and in the video before that the solar collector units on the west side of the building. So let's get started. Now a few things I want to mention before we get started. I've already configured this building prior, so I'm just reading out the dimensions that I've configured. And if we run into some problems, and if we run into some misdimensions and sort of errors that I've made prior, which there are some, we can actually change those, and you guys can actually get a live. You guys can actually see me actually interpret these problems live. So let's start off. What I'm going to do, so again, it's up to you how you want to configure your facades, how you want to design your building with what materials, whatever it is. I'm going to do it my way, and then you guys can either follow or you guys can copy me initially, and then you can play around with it later, of course. So let's start. So initially I'm going to deselect my snap options for my floor slabs and my roof, just to get a better condensed view, of course, like this. We've been doing that for the past videos as well. And I'm going to initially start off with my opaque units. So let's head over to opaque units. Now the thickness here I had was 1,200. The height was 3,750 millimeters. And again, I'm keeping my insulation as 155 throughout the whole project. So coming down here, selecting that corner. And now moving over to this corner as well, I'm going to insert it at that corner as well. Perfect. So here we go. Maybe I can move it down a little bit. So selecting my move button here, holding down the shift key, and I can actually zoom in, of course, if I want to, and come over to this corner. Oh, what happened there? I think I've inserted it somewhere very, very far away. Let's see where it went. Oh. It should be somewhere. Let's try find it. This is always fun. Or actually just redo. Okay. So moving over to this corner, let's come to our select button, select this, and we can actually move it to the corner. Okay, perfect. So that's done. Now, as you can see, I'm zooming in and out and also holding the control key to pan around the building. You can also do that by clicking this button here, the 3D orbit, and that will allow us, but again, you have to unclick it. Again, the control key is such a great shortcut, or such a great key to be using when configuring our facades. Anyway, we can now configure my facades along the side of the building as well. So this one, we'll choose another facade, another opaque facade. My thickness will be 1,200. My height this time will be 2,900, corresponding to the height of the floors. And actually come over and insert them all across, all the way up, as such. Looking for that square to correspond to the selection of the corner. So right click, and I've selected those, and I've inserted those. Now we're going to start from the top here. From the top here. Initially, let's start off by inserting a double vented window. So here we go with the double vented window over here. Let's play around with this. So 3575 is what I've got for the thickness. The height I've got as 2,900, corresponding to the height of the floor, of course. The window as 1,600. The thickness, the height as 1,000. The height up to the windowsill as 1,200. And the left margin, of course, as 1,250. Now, a bit about the dimensions here. Again, the thickness of the panel is the width of the panel. The insulation thickness is the insulation thickness that resides in between those within the panel. Again, the finish is the outside material that we want to use in our facade. Again, I'm using timber for the whole project to make it look great. Again, the window, this is where we define the dimensions of the window that resides in the hole inside the facade, basically. So the width is the thickness, the height of the window, the height up to the windowsill is the height from the bottom of the facade to the top of the to the bottom of the window. So again, that height that resides below the window, and the left margin is of course the left margin. So the distance from the left-hand side to the left-hand side of the window. And we can actually come over here, and I've inserted that there. And as you can see, I'm able to hover over the corner of the window, find that square that we were talking about, and insert it. And that's along all of these windows as well. So I'm going to leave that one there. We can actually configure this now if we want to. So let's do that. So as you can see, I've inserted the window here, but it's incorrect. So what I need to do here is I need to keep the window the same, but I need to just move the I need to move the facade up. So what that actually means is I'm going to need to move it. So coming over here to this move option, selecting this button here and moving it over the top. Now, as you can see now, my window doesn't actually fit perfectly. So we can come over here, and what I need to amend, of course, is I need to amend the height up to the windowsill. So again, the height up to the windowsill is the height from here, of course, the height here to the height up to the windowsill. Now, right click again, let's exit. I'm going to edit this again. So the height up to the windowsill now, I'm going to, let's say 1,000, see what happens. No, let's say 1,100. I'm still not there yet. As you can see, I've got that little bit of distance. Of course, it's 1,000. And there you go. I've inserted my window quite nicely there. Perfect. Now, switching over to the other side. This is, again, another double vented window. So here, the thickness I had was the same, 3,575. The only thing that changes with this window, of course, is I had the height up to the windowsill, 1,600, 900 for the height of the window. The height up to the windowsill I had was 1,000, and the left margin here was 650. So what I've done is I've just shifted the left margin. I can come over here and insert that. Now this looks a bit odd. Let's cancel that. Let's delete it. Let's insert another double vented window. Now, now let's go back. This actually was for this window here. Actually, let's just delete it and do it again later. Perfect. So again, the double vented window. Now this double vented window has dimensions. Let's have a look here. We had a dimension of 3,575, 2,900. The only difference was 1,000. This one was 1,200, sorry. Again, we changed that before. So this should fit perfectly. Okay, perfect. And then that can be repeated here as well. Now, of course, this one changes. We can insert that here, right? But what I'd need to do now was actually move it up. So using this button here, moving this button to that corner again, and now changing that to 1,000 as we did on the other side as well. So as you can see, we're easily being able to configure those sections. Now, let's play around with these double vented windows now. So now we have another double vented window. So as you can see, these 8 are all the same, and these 4 are the same as well. So let's go to double vented windows. This configuration, again, 3063 for the thickness of the panel, 2,900 corresponding to the height. The thickness of the window is 1,600. The height is 1,000. 1,200 for the height up to the windowsill, and the left margin here, I have a 725, and let's see how we go with that. So let's insert that there, 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 and there. That should be a snug fit. Perfect. Now right click to insert those panels. Let's go back into the double vented windows. Now I've got my bottom four, and what basically is, it's just my windows are slightly reduced in height because I'm compensating for the change in height of the floor. So now the only difference here is the height up to the windowsill is only at 1000, but everything else stays the same, of course. So let's, and just clicking, left clicking to those at those corners where I'm selecting the time where I'm able to get a snug fit there. Now, great. Now let's continue on. I've got my my door unit here. So this door unit, we can go to the door unit section here. The thickness of this door unit is 3,700. The height here is 2,100. Insulation 155, of course. The thickness of the door is conventional 900. The height is 2,000. And my left margin here is 1,520 millimeters. So hovering over, as you can see here, I don't know what color that is, like a teal sort of color, corresponding to a snug fit being present there. And I can actually pan around and be able to insert that correctly there as such. Okay, so moving on, another door unit, this time thickness of 1,330, height of 2,100. The door again is 900, the height is 2,000, and here the left margin is only 250. So this is a smaller door. So hovering over here, and we've inserted that on this side as well. Again, the next door I have as 1,600, the thickness. The height is 2,1. Now the door is 900, 200, and the left margin here is 180. So I've actually just shifted it across and made it a bit wider. And you'll be able to see that that is inserted perfectly there. Moving on, we have another door unit again, of course. Now this is a big one. The thickness is 3,000. The height is 2,1, 155 for the insulation thickness. The door is 950 in thickness. The height is 2,000. And the left margin here I had was 1,370. But let's see how this works out. Okay, so as you can see, we have a bit of a problem here. So what's actually happened, you can see I'm moving around. The door is too wide, again, because of the 950. So let's change that to 900, again, the conventional. So as you can see now, it's perfectly aligned. But what I need to do is I need to increase the thickness of that door, of that panel now. So that thickness, let's change that to now, let's change it to 3,100 and see what happens. 3,200. Oh, sorry. Let's go back. So let's go back to 3,000. A great thing to remember is that I'm actually editing. So the changes are being made to the top, to the right, and to the top of the door. So what I need to do is I need to move this door. So move it across, right? And once I have it as such, I can now increase my left margin by 100. So instead of 1,370, 1,470. And there you are. There's our door inserted nicely. Perfect. Now, again, we have another another opaque facade here. Now this opaque unit has a thickness of 3,100, a height of 2,100, and an insulation thickness of 155. So moving over here, I can zoom in to better find that point. And there we go, I've inserted that nicely there. Now, another door unit. This door unit has a thickness of 3,100, 2,100. The thickness here, the height is 2,000, and the thickness is 950, but the left margin is 300. So let's hover over here and see how we go there. Perfect. And as you can see, we've inserted that quite nicely. Now, with this one, this is another door unit, but this is a big one. Again, you can do it your own way. I just wanted to sort of change things up a little bit here. So 3,600 for the thickness, 3,775 for the height. The thickness was 1,300. So this is of course a bigger door, maybe even a double door. Well, not exactly a double door, a large door. 2,000 and left margin of 1,000 millimeters. And I can come over here and let's see if that fits snugly. Perfect. Now, those are our doors done. Now for our windows, and then we'll be done with this side. Exciting. All right, this is another one. So we have our fixed window units here. The thickness of 3,575. I have 1,650 for the height of that window. For the height of that panel, sorry. And the window is 2,350. The height of the window is 1,000. The height up to the window sill I have is 110 millimeters, and the left margin as 800. So this is the opposite side. So coming over here, zooming in, and let's see how we go. Not too bad. Let's escape. Let's move my panel. I want to move it there. And there we go. That looks nice. That looks nice and snug. Again, let's keep on going. Fixed window panel. This one has a thickness of 3,050, the height of 1,650, the thickness of 2,350, 1,000, 110, and 280 for the left margin. So let's see how this goes. Moving those across and moving those across. Okay. Now what needs to happen is we need to move everything across to the left. So back to my panels. There's that one. There's that one done. Again, you can zoom in as much as you like, just as long as that's being inserted. Oh, Control Z to undo. Oh, back again, Control Z. See, as you can see, I'm not. Sorry, I'm not holding the Shift key, aren't I? Perfect. Now, what I want to do now is I want to zoom out and see how we've done. Again, I've got some overlap here. So now what I can do is I can reduce the thickness of this panel. So let's do 3,000. And that should be okay. And I'll also reduce the thickness of this panel too. So let's reduce the thickness as 3,000. Perfect. And that's our configuration done, guys. Again, to check our results, to check the dimensions, we can again go into our 3D view. And here's our final design. It does look good. Now, going on to perpendicular against the, this is the y-axis again, sorry. I can move across here, get to a point where I'm just at the wall, which is about there, I think. Yes, and now I can view from both sides what's actually happening to my wall. And the actual validity of that design. I can even go to my projection here and go back to my thing. And now I can actually see, okay, it does look good. Again, if we want to make any changes, we can do that just by easily going in and playing around with the windows. Now, again, you can, do some measurements as well. So, for instance, you can come over here. You can use the measure button here and measure the openings as well. You can do that if you want. As such, or you can just play around and actually get those measurements done yourself. I mean, it's the options are there for you. Again, it will take a bit longer when you're doing the measurements. Maybe even having a little pen and paper to reference. So, for instance, this I referenced this as panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, but those were the same, and then panel 4 there, and we can actually play around with them like that and actually design it like a designer would.